Hello you all. Today I wanted to make a really random video where I'm gonna present some of my fan-made Monster Hunter monsters. I'm gonna present some of my digital ones and some of the ones I did on paper in this notebook of mine. Unfortunately, a lot of them are either not finished or like not colored, but some of them are. I'm also gonna talk about some of the digital ones I made, which I posted on Instagram, on my Instagram, which is the same name as this channel. So the first one is gonna be Dravier. I made Dravier inspired on the new bear they made for the franchise, the Doshiguma for Monster Hunter Wilds. But I changed its design a little bit because it's a different species, of course. It uses the fire element, and I wanted to give it a mane that is made of dreadlocks, which I think it's a really cool design idea. And one thing I also liked that I did on the design was not, it's kind of hard to explain, but when creating fire creatures, I don't usually give it fiery colors like red and yellow and orange. I don't know, I like to give it some sort of blue or even gray and black because it gives a feeling of something that is burned instead of burning, you know. That's why I really like the design of Ash Ketchawacha too, which instead of having fiery colors, it has great colors despite using fire. Yeah, I really liked Dravier's design much better than the old design that I made for it, which I was coloring, but I deleted it because it was horrible. I'm not sure if I have a picture of it. The next design I'm gonna have to want to talk about is I'm gonna have to. What is happening to my English? Anyways, is Ragnaros, which was, I'm pretty sure it was the first one I posted. No, it was not the first one, but it was the second one I posted on Instagram. Ragnaros is an amphibian that uses fire, and I made its head inspired on a ceratopsian, which is kind of weird for an amphibian, but I really liked it. It's also inspired on a skull too. It was originally going to have horns, but I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't very necessary to add horns to it, so I added a Pachyrhinosaurus like face, and it also doesn't have sharp teeth. You know, it has like flat teeth. That's because I wanted to feed on like minerals and that type of stuff, sort of like Uragon on the game. He feeds on minerals and he has like flat teeth. Yeah, I really liked Ragnar's design. There are some things that I did not like much. I wish I've made the skin a little bit more rough, you know, not as smooth as I did. But I really liked Ragnar's design. The second monster I'm gonna talk about is pretty much one of the first ones I made. I actually was the first one that I posted on Instagram, which is called Carcoteros. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I made up that name. I'm not even sure what it meant originally. Carcoteros, he's a brute wyvern, which is like one of my favorite classes in the game. And I wanted to get a little bit different. Instead of just making a classic dinosaur like a lot of brute wyverns are in the franchise, I made it at the head and part of the frontal limbs, inspired on a Wolverine, not the superhero. Okay, it's not the superhero, it's the animal. And it will use the dragon element, sort of like Devil Joe, but it would also use bleeding because its frontal limbs, while smaller than the back ones, it would have like really quite long, sharp claws, and it would give the player the bleeding statuses, which is kind of annoying in the game, but it's my creature. I do whatever I want. The second creature I'm gonna talk about, I forgot the name. I'm going to read it real quick. Kudendak. It's a really weird name. I mixed a bunch of words in Hindi, which I think it was like little jumping frog. And it is not an amphibian, surprisingly. It is inspired on amphibians. Obviously, it's inspired on a tomato frog. But I think I don't know if I mentioned it. I made this design today. It is a brute wyvern. I love brute wyverns. And it is semi-aquatic, so it uses the water element, but it also uses paralysis. Has like a liquid on its tongue that can make the player, what what is the word? I forgot to say that. it uses paralysis. I think you guys get it. I wanted to give it a kind of fun design, something that felt like slightly cute. I don't know, it's just kind of like a mix of cute and scary and weird, you know? Kind of like, I cannot think of a design, but I think you guys get it. I wanted to have like, to jump during the fight, jump a lot, sort of like a kangaroo. And a frog, obviously. But it doesn't walk in four, you know? It walks like a theropod because that's the main characteristic of at least most brute wyverns, except for, I don't know, no, there's no exception. I also wanted to talk about the elder dragon that I made. It's called, how the f am I gonna read this? Okay, I'll read Minalek. Dude, I made up those names and I cannot read them. Okay, Ari Minalek is an elder dragon I made, and I want it to be absolutely colossal. You guys are probably not gonna be able to see it on the picture, but it's colossal, like probably similar in size to Delamador. And it is a semi-aquatic dragon. I wanted to use the water and thunder element. I wanted to make like a another colossal dragon for the franchise, sort of like Zor Magdaros in Delamador. And I'm made it inspired on seahorses, you know. You can see its wrinkled body, which is, I don't know, at least I didn't actually look at a picture of seahorses, but I kind of have an idea of that body format with those wrinkles, with those bumps, and I really liked it. It also looks like a sea dragon. It's a fish close related to seahorses, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna talk about the Sophia. The Sophia is a flying wyvern I made, and I don't know why I really like its design and idea. Um, One of the inspirations that I had for it was acidic glavenus because it uses acid, and not many creatures in the game use corrosive liquids in the franchise. In this creature of mine, he has like a bunch of organs on its forehead, like it goes all the way to the back and the tip of the tail, and those organs they kind of feel like sponges, and they basically fill with a corrosive substance, which is shoots at the player. Not only that, this flying wyvern, he uses the fire element, and he's able to create fire hurricanes, which is, I think it's a really cool idea. I'm surprised they never did something like that on the franchise. Seems like it would be a kind of annoying to fight though. Now I want to talk about the Dracojang. The Dracojang, he's a fanged beast. He looks like a monkey, quite similar to Rajang, and he uses the dragon element, which is like this element that is like a dark mist and a red electricity, whatever the hell that thing is. It's a really cool looking element, and I really liked this design I made. The design itself doesn't seem too special, but I don't know, the pose that I drew for it, I just thought it was really cool. I really liked this design. The details that I did for the muscles, I'm kind of proud of myself. I really like that one. He's called Tatagaron. The Tatagaron, it's a fanged wyvern, and it is clearly inspired on, I don't know, hyenas, dogs. Its eyes I made, I don't know, I wanted to have like to look like a snake a little bit. And a cool thing about it is that it uses the element fire, but how can I explain? It uses a hybrid attack. It doesn't have a hybrid element attack, but it kind of mixes fire with the paralysis statuses, the paralysis status. That's what I call status. So it mixes both of them. So what it does is, that's kind of terrifying to think about it. It paralyzes the player, so the player cannot move at all while burning. So the player will burn while being paralyzed without being able to move. The things that on the game, to stop the fire, you gotta move a lot. At least as far as I know, if you move a lot in the game, that's what happened. At least I think what happened when I was playing. You gotta move a lot to stop the fire, but you're not gonna be able to do it when you're paralyzed. I just thought it was an interesting idea, and that's what I made. I'm pretty sure the quality of the image on that drawing is really bad, but it's not finished too. But I really liked the idea that I gave for it, a lot because of the name. So I wanted to make a snake wyvern that uses the fire element, and I was going to give it make up a name by mixing, I don't know, words related to fire in various different languages. But I thought, I remember Kieran from the franchise. I think Kieran's like the only monster in the franchise that receives the same name as the creature that inspired it, the Kieran. So I thought, why not name it with Boitata, which is like it's a creature from Brazilian mythology, which is a giant fire snake. So I just gave it the same name. I think it was really cool. I don't know if it's creative, but I find it really cool. I think more creatures in the franchise should receive the same name as the creatures that inspired them. And it uses the fire element obviously, and it also has like a little crest, which kind of opens, so sort of like that Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park. And it also uses the bleeding statuses because it has some sort of two similar blades. What I mean by similar is that they're, I forgot the word, but they're the same. They kind of close like a crab thing, and they cause bleeding. They're really sharp. Yeah, I really liked this one, though I gotta finish it. Yeah, maybe soon. This one is really interesting. I think I did a little bit more than a week ago. It's called Haricom Shura. The Haricom Shura, it is a fanged wyvern, sort of like like Zinogre and Tatagoron, which I talked about in this video, and Odogaron. But I want it to be like pretty much the biggest fanged wyvern in the franchise. It is like absolutely enormous. Your guys are not gonna be What the fuck? You guys are not gonna be able to see it on the video because I draw like a really small human to it and it's not very detailed, but it's really big. And the idea that I had for it is that it would have like a hybrid element. It will mix the fire element and the dragon element. So it will be like fire, but at the tip it will be like this dark mist, sort of like the dragon element. And I don't know, I just really liked its design. It's really intimidating, and it just gives off the feeling of a boss, a gang boss, and I really liked this design. The color, I wish it was a little bit dark, but for some reason I couldn't do it while coloring because for some reason when we were coloring, we are scared of applying too much force, at least me. But I really liked it. I'll also mention some of the digital ones that I made that I'm not finished with them yet, which is the Vodocabra, which is another amphibian I made, and it uses electricity. And the reason I give its name is because I took the word vodo, which is something related to electricity, and cabra, which I have no idea what it means. I just know that in the franchise, they made two amphibians whose names end with cabra. So I just thought it was cool, and I added the word vodo before cabra. Yeah, it's an amphibian that has like little two antennas. I don't know how to say that word. And it uses electricity. I kind of liked this design, though I'm not finished with it. I'm also working on I think I posted this on Instagram. It's not finished yet. The reason it's not finished because I'm kind of lazy. So I'm sorry to admit that. But it is another brute wyvern I made called Akidro Savra. I'm not sure what words did I mix to create that one. Anyways, it doesn't use any element. It uses blast, which means it uses explosion. What it does is that it would spread some sort of explosive powder in the air, and it would roar and make everything explode. One of the ideas that I had for this creature was some sort of lore where it would actually feed on corpses of Teostras, which are elder dragons. And the Teostra has an explosive powder on their body, which I find really cool. And I was thinking about this brew wyvern like inheriting this substance as because of its diet that consists in the corpses of Teostras. It also uses how can I explain this? I suddenly forgot. I don't know why. It throws rocks at you during the fight, which it may sound goofy, but I thought it was an interesting idea. I don't see many creatures in their franchise. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, not young Kutku. What is his name? Kuluyaku. I'm pretty sure he uses rocks from its environment to throw at you. And I think you guys may notice it. I made it inspired on a gecko, much because of its tail. You guys probably noticed it. And I'm trying to remember. Was there another design? Wait. I mean, I do have some ideas that I'm working on digitally, but they're so unfinished that I'm not even sure if I want to show here in the video. Probably one of them, which is this one, which I forgot the name, and I'm not gonna open my gallery right now. It is as far as I can remember, I'm actually trying to remember what the hell did I wrote. It was a fanged beast inspired on a monkey, and it's like enormous. Will be probably be the biggest monkey in the franchise. And it uses electricity and blast, I think, explosion. And it has like a really big mane, sort of kind of similar to Draco Jane. And its mane is kind of like, you know, when electricity makes your hair spin. I'm not gonna name. I don't know the name of that shit. It has a hair like this, and it's kind of like electric, like. Yeah, that's the idea that I had, and I just wanted to make it like really menacing and kind of terrifying, you know. I really liked its design. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked this video. I really
like creating fan-made monsters for Monster Hunter and designing creatures in general. I'm working on a world building project, as you guys probably know, and recently I've been remaking it, making some changes to make it more fun, and I'm really liking it.
hope you guys liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel and share with others if you guys can. Have a nice day.